It's like if you would play this game as the Nazis defending your country from invaders. And I was like, and? Why the fuck wouldn't I play a game where you're a Nazi? I don't give a shit. I said it's not the libs who are triggered by the game where you play as savages. It's woke conservatives. A woke conservative is a conservative who is a hypocrite and is triggered by problematic representation in video games and wants to censor, you know, certain types of stories from being. It's basically a leftist conservative. Like, that's what they are. Why are you being boring and puritanical about not wanting to play as a based villain archetype in a video game? And he says, because my people suffered at the hands of the Aztecs. I don't know what else to call them. What do I call them besides woke conservatives? I was like, woke conservatives are genuinely triggered that a video game exists where you play as Aztecs killing Spanish invaders. What else do you call somebody who's triggered at the problematic representation of the Aztec being the main character in an action game? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? The game would portray the Nazis were good people, but for this person that played this game without knowing the history of the Nazis, it's true. If somebody didn't learn about Nazis in school, that they were bad, and they played a video game about Nazis, that's problematic, and that game should probably be censored or something because it's infecting the minds of our youth. How does this not guy sound like a fucking woke libtard? How do these people not sound woke, guys? They're woke. There are woke right-wing people. They exist, and they're annoying. It's not a video game's responsibility to teach kids about history. You shouldn't have to be a genius to know this. You can root for them while they objectively terrible things. Yeah, you can. Like Walter White, guys, or Hannibal Lecter. Come on, or Frieza from fucking Dragon Ball Z, genocidal maniac, one of the coolest characters in the history of anime. Can we not be fucking pussies? These people are being NPCs. Like, you ever like look at a thread and everybody has the same opinion? I want to play as the Spaniards, not the savages. Yeah, I want to play as the Spaniards, not the savages. What is this? It's the same fucking tweet. Wait, I want to play as the Spaniards, not the savages. I want to play as the Spaniards, not the savages. Guys, what are we doing? Are these bots? No, they're not bots. They're actual retarded NPCs. That's what they are. There are some people that are a little upset about this game existing, not just wanting to play the other side. They just straight up think that the game is, I guess they think the game is woke. So here's what Pippa says. She noticed a similar thing. This game is the most manufactured outrage surrounding it I've seen in a long fucking time. And it does. And she's pointing it out too. She says it looks fun. And then she's like, am I missing some broader context to this? Because I keep seeing people say this kind of thing. And someone's like, oh, she's responding to something about, I hope it's historically accurate. This includes the occasional genocide, blood sacrifices, and beheading of children. Like, imagine if that was in the game. Now, it's hard to tell if this guy's serious or if he's being facetious and joking because he thinks that by pointing out the fact that Aztecs were genocidal and did blood sacrifices, he's like owning the libs or something. I can't tell. I cannot even tell, guys. I said, it's copy pasta because it is. Everybody's repeating them the same thing. They're just copying whatever the person above them, you know, tweeted. People are just using this as a vehicle for some culture war conversation about savages or something. I just wish the game looked more like Conan Exiles. This game is misrepresenting the conquistadors and making the Aztecs into the good guys or some shit. And I'm just like, first of all, how are you getting that from this trailer? All it is that you play as this guy trying to kill invading conquistadors. There's no other context. There's no noble savage, you know, context. There's no conquistadors were racist context. He's not in the trailer at all. None of it's in the trailer. Why are there millions of NPCs in the comments doing the I want to play as the Spanish copy pasta? I said Aztecs were based loincloth wearing savages. Spaniards are gay. No, I'm just shit posting. Okay, it should be obvious that I'm shit posting. And then I was like, spreading disease is easy mode. The conquistadors were pussies and had zero drip. I'm literally trolling. This is AI art. I'm not being serious, guys. Although I do think they're based. I think the Aztecs and the Mayans and the Incas, they're all based. You know, I like ancient cultures. There's nothing wrong with liking ancient cultures. Oh, this guy. As a person descended from these people, the Aztecs were an awful people that casually enslaved and murdered their neighbors. They were so awful that neighboring tribes assisted with their annihilation. Cortez only had 500 soldiers, while the Aztecs had companies in the thousands. So you give me a little history lesson, and then he's saying, like, as a person who descended from these people, it's like, so I'm just like, as a black gay woman I was like, same energy. No one cares that you're out your ancestry. We just want to play a fun game with badass characters. Like, I don't like when people use the whole as a insert identity, like as an argument for some kind of like thing, like a moral grandstanding thing. Here's a guy who says he was complaining about it, and then I said, so why are you being boring and puritanical about not wanting to play as a based villain archetype in a video game? And he says, because my people suffered at the hands of the Aztecs. Also because stupid people keep pushing the lie that the Aztecs were the good guys. I don't know what else to call them. What do I call them besides woke conservatives? I was like, woke conservatives are genuinely triggered that a video game exists where you play as Aztecs killing Spanish invaders. What else do you call somebody who's triggered at the problematic representation of the Aztec being the main character in an action game? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? You don't even know, guys. Like, look at this. I don't know why this video is not playing because I posted a video and it's frozen. It's a Native American game called This Land Is My Land. And you play as a Native American hunting, killing the colonizers. I was like, retweet to trigger woke ideologues terrified of problematic video games. And some people were confused by what I meant. They were like, kill Whitey as an engine? That's like the wet dream of woke ideologues. And I had to explain. I was like, what do you call conservatives triggered by this game because killing colonizers is problematic? I was like, it's all woke to me. It's all people being sensitive over a video game to me. It's all woke. It literally is. I mean, here's a guy. I blocked him, so I have to unblock because I can't. He was just nonstop commenting. I just couldn't. I had to. So he commented, "Is woke conservative an oxymoron?" In any case, I don't like bad history. Aztecs were the Nazis of Americas. And I was like, how does this game have bad history? And he goes, it's like if you would play this game as the Navis defining your country from invaders. By the way, this guy is either the worst speller in the human history because he does this all the time, or he's a foreigner who can't speak English, and therefore you shouldn't take his opinion seriously because he can't even communicate properly. It's like if you would play this game as the Nazis defending, I guess he meant, your country from invaders. And I was like, and? Why wouldn't I play that? Why the fuck wouldn't I play a game where you're a Nazi? I don't give a shit. And then I said, I've played Vikings before in games, and those people were savages. So imagine that in school that they don't teach you about the Nazis, and only historical information you get is through this game. What would you not think that the Nazis were victims of the USA? Would you say the USA was the bad guy at that point? I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And then he's like, I'm talking about how this game will create a false historical narrative in Western culture, bin that in Western schools they will not touch the history of the conquista of the Aztecs. So it would be like if in schools they wouldn't teach you about the Nazis in World War II. And then I just quote tweeted him. I was like, comparing video games to school curriculum is retarded. That's like comparing Inglourious Bastards to a World War II documentary. Alternate history entertainment is harmless. You're delusional and paranoid. It's just an action game about Aztecs. Stop acting like a woke sensorial libtard, which is exactly what he's doing. And anybody who is complaining about this game, that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Because the game, once again, has no information about the story. There's nothing woke about it. There's nothing woke. Cleopatra broke a lot of people. It did break a lot of people, Saris, but Cleopatra is a documentary on Netflix. But there's a big, massive difference between making a documentary about Cleopatra and depicting her as a black woman and playing as an Aztec, right? You're playing as an Aztec warrior, killing people that are invading your city, which happened in real life. Like, there's no rewriting of history there. Like, it's not rewriting history. Even if you were to say, oh, the game is portraying Aztecs as the heroes, even that is a false narrative. Like, it very well could be that you're just playing as an Aztec warrior with no like moral agenda whatsoever. Like, maybe you're just playing as a guy in the tribe who's, if you were an Aztec at the time, you were a hero to your own people. The game isn't moralizing for you. It's just giving you the option to play as an Aztec. Guys, I'm losing brain cells it's like trying to explain a joke that's like very obvious, and they're like, what's, I don't get the joke. And then you have to explain it, and then you become dumber for having to explain it. So now you go and you quote twite. You quote twite me. I'm just gonna say this guy's fucking Aztec or some shit. Like he time traveled here and doesn't know how to speak. And I'm not comparing the video game to school curriculum. I am pointing out the fact that in Western schools, they will not teach the history of the Aztecs, and that for Western kids that buy this game. And I said, I learned about the Aztec culture in school, which I did. I said, you're making shit up. I said, and it's not a video games. Look at this, guys. Do I have to zoom in on this because it's so important? I'm going to give you some wisdom, chat. Look at this wisdom that I'm about to tell you. You ready for this genius wisdom? It's not a video game's responsibility to teach kids about history. You shouldn't have to be a genius to know this. Okay? You shouldn't have to be smart to know this. If that's your actual opinion, you're an idiot. And no different than the left when they complain about colonialism in gaming. Because video games are not educational, and the left is like, well, they need to be educational. No, they don't. They're video games. The game would portray the Nazis were good people. This is false historically, but for this person that played this game without knowing the history of the Nazis, it's true. He's saying that that if somebody didn't learn about Nazis in school, that they were bad, and they played a video game about Nazis, and that in the video game you play as a Nazi and kill American soldiers, that's problematic, and that game should probably be censored or something because it's infecting the minds of our youth. How does this not guy sound like a fucking woke libtard? How do these people not sound woke, guys? They're woke. There are woke right-wing people. They exist. And they're annoying because they don't think they're woke. They're so stupid, they don't see the hypocrisy. Hey, what's up, Zax? We're just about to roast some guy who's probably watching the stream and going, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. He didn't want to come on. I invited him on. He's like, no, you're a piece of shit, Lofty. So I said, this is not the game I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Aztec game, okay? I said, it's not the libs who are triggered by the game where you play as savages. It's woke conservatives, okay? And we explained, we collect. Now, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I think I explained myself. A woke conservative is a conservative who is a hypocrite and is triggered by problematic representation in video games and wants to censor, you know, certain types of stories from it's basically a leftist conservative. Like, that's what they are. He goes, people pointing out the truth about the Aztecs and about how many in South America they were like Nazis, and the Spanish were the allies saving them. And I was like, the video game doesn't even contradict this. It's literally an action game, and people are triggered by imaginary rewriting of history and upset that the game is from the perspective of the savage. People should always call out a rewriting of history, or you start ending up with known historical events and figures being erased and wikiality out of existence or into existence that never happened, such as the Netflix Cleopatra. And I was like, holy shit, I hope you were this upset about Inglourious Bastards. You're taking a video game way too seriously. It's not a documentary. It's not! It's not the same thing as a documentary, you dumb dipshit. A documentary is like, here's how history is represented. Let me educate you, okay? A video game is not. It's not the same thing. And he goes, it did not present itself as actual history. He's talking about Inglourious Bastards. Your tactics don't work. And I was like, and neither did the video game. None of them are presenting themselves as history. And he goes, yeah, false. It's presenting as a historically themed game taken from actual history. It's not a parody like Bastards or sci-fi like Creed. And I'm just like, dude, are you... I'm like, it's a fucking video game where you have blood sacrifices to level up your character. This is not a serious depiction of history. It's an action game that's supposed to be fun to play, to kill a bunch of guys in cool, clever ways and traps and stab them with stuff and throw them off pyramids and stuff. It's literally not serious. He quotes me as though this is my opinion. It's just a video game. It's just a movie. It's just a book. It's fantasy. So why can't we race swap every Lord of the Rings character for a card game? Typical Lofty. So it's just a straw man. He's saying that's typical me, even though that's the opposite of me. I've roasted Aragorn. Actually, let's go to it. Can a Binger borrow a quill? And then, that's from a funny meme. And then Oh, where's the other one? I fixed it for you with AI, Wizards of the Coast. So I just fixed the black Aragorn and made him white. I'm roasting. This person's like, typical Lofty. It's, you know what? There's a lot of people who don't follow me that hear rumors of me being a lefty, right? And they're like, oh, Lofty's a lefty. Lefty Lofty. Oh, that's catchy. It must be true. And they have no idea what I actually think. They don't even follow me. And then sometimes I get stuff like people are like, oh, Lofty actually had a good take for once. Is the world ending? And then I look at the guy and he's not following me on Twitter. So clearly, you know what I mean? Like, I get this reputation that I have horrible takes when 99% of my takes are based. And then once in a while I have a bad take, and that's the one that they happen to see it go viral on Twitter, you know? Anyway, this guy's a dumbass. And then he goes, the Aztec game is trying to do a woman king. And then I said this, the woman king. I was like, why? Because they're brown? I was like, playing as a Viking savage is based because they're white? Like, what actually are you saying? Because if you break down this logic, guys, this guy's upset because you're playing as a main character who's an Aztec, which according to him means that the game wants you to think that the Aztecs were somehow righteous, like moral arbiters of morality. And that's his own invention. That's his own interpretation of this game. Okay, so a game about like Aztecs is problematic, but a game about Vikings is based. And I wanted him to answer this question because if he's being consistent, he's going to have to say, no. A game about Vikings is also problematic because they were also savages. They raped and pillaged women and children, you know, and they fucking worshipped pagan gods and shit. And they howled to the moon because they thought that they were literal like animal kin spirits and shit. You know what I mean? Hello. And he didn't answer the question. So he goes, now you're trying to race bait. Just when I thought my opinion of you couldn't go any lower, you're a sick piece of shit. So he's triggered. And then he was saying stuff like, he said, I played the race card. Yeah, Vinland Saga is great, guys. And the Northmen. Yep, exactly, Cola. I agree. You can root for them while they objectively terrible things. Yeah, you can. Like Walter White, guys. Or Hannibal Lecter. Come on. Or Frieza from fucking Dragon Ball Z. Genocidal maniac. One of the coolest characters in the history of anime. Can we not be fucking pussies? Okay. I said, you're fuming. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to differentiate between playing a game with white versus brown savages. If the issue isn't skin color, what is it? And he wouldn't answer. Didn't answer because he probably is a racist, this guy. I'm guessing he's just straight hates brown people and doesn't care because Vikings are based because they're white. Like there's no other excuse, guys. Why else would somebody be okay with a game about Vikings where you play as a Viking and you're badass? Oh, I love that game. And then, or a game about samurai, Ghost of Tsushima. You're running around. Oh, this guy's a badass. Samurai were bad people too, guys. They were horrible to women and village people. And like they would torture, the shogunate would kill, just brutally starve his own people and like take all the farmers' food for himself. And then they would die. And none of these people are good. The game tried. Aztecs were the bad guys. The Aztecs were the bad guys. Who cares, dude? The conquistadors also tortured and threw children into fucking mass graves and shit. They were slavers. They killed women and children. They were slavers. Oh, so was everybody else in the fucking world. They killed women and children by cutting their hearts out while they were alive. Yeah, I'm sure they're savages. I never said they're not savages. And the fact that you play as a native warrior doesn't mean the game is making morality claims about their culture. They give you the option to play as an Aztec warrior. The game is not therefore, there's no causal relationship between playing a character and that character being a morally good person. That's never been a thing in video game history, ever. Just because you play as a character doesn't mean that person is like the best human alive or like stupid. The game is steeped in trying to make heroes of monsters like the Woman King. Keeps going back to the Woman King. This game is not making a hero of monsters. It's just letting you be the monster if you think they're monsters, cool. Fucking be a monster and go kill a bunch of Spaniards. The game isn't telling you what to think, you fucking dumbass. Man, people are just, where's the thread? Where's the thread? Where's the actual thread? Here it is. Of course you get leftists saying, you're a fascist if you want to play as the conquistadors. It's like, no, I just want to play as the... both sides are retarded. Yeah, everybody's like, I want to play as a Spanish. I don't know, guys. I think Aztecs are cool. I don't know why anybody would be like, Yeah, spoiler alert, they lost. It's like, dude, you're just virtue signaling. Why is that? Why are you being gay? Everybody knows they lost. You're not doing anything by saying this. Spoiler alert. Take that, libtards. Nobody cares. Nobody's saying they didn't lose. What's the why virtue signal under a fucking IGN video? Aztecs were not the good guys. Nobody said they fucking were. Oh my god, these people are brain dead. Brain dead. Brain dead. This is gonna flop hard. Why? If it's bad, it will, but not because it's... These are like the right-wing Hogwarts Legacy people. They're just like, this game's gonna flop. It's transphobic. Meanwhile, it sells $1 billion fucking dollars. So the child sacrificers are the good guys in this game? This is what people genuinely think. If you play as a character in a game, you're automatically the good guy. You're a good person. You're a good guy. No, history is not black and white. There's bad guys on both sides, and there's good guys on both sides, and you're a fucking retard if you don't... Oh man, these people are stupid, man. Look how many retards there are. 1,000 likes on this tweet. I just don't like, here's another thing I don't like about it, guys. I don't like that the Spanish conquistadors pillaged and destroyed a fuck ton of Aztec cultural artifacts and their history. And they tried to wipe them off the face of the fucking earth. And it's like, now we barely know anything about them. So a lot of this stuff could be misinformation. We don't even know. And then, you know what I mean? I think that's gay. That's like what the fucking Middle Eastern, jihadists do. They go around and burning all art that isn't praising Allah. You know, that's dumb. And it's okay to criticize colonizers. It's okay. Oh, look, here comes the far right. I've seen this meme before. It's funny. It is funny. It's genuinely a funny meme. Look at this. Can I play as the good guys instead? How do I play as the conquistadors? These people are being NPCs. Like... You ever like look at a thread and everybody has the same opinion and you're like, how is this can I play as the Spanish? Spoiler alert, you lose. I've seen this exact comment pasted like 20 times. You know, so basically you fight as the villain. What's this even mean? What does this even mean? So basically you fight as the villain. What are you in 4th grade where you're like, bad guys, good guys, woohoo, cops and robbers? What the fuck is wrong with people? I want to play as the Spaniards, not the savages. Yeah, I want to play as the Spaniards, not the savages. What is this? It's the same fucking tweet. Wait, I want to play as the Spaniards, not the savages. I want to play as the Spaniards, not the savages. Guys, what are we doing? Are these bots? No, they're not bots. They're actual retarded NPCs. That's what they are. I know I will fully admit that I'm triggered by a bunch of stupid people, okay? Yes, I'm triggered. You can call me triggered. Bye, everybody.